skydiving over Long Island, cruising on the Hudson, to say nothing of his body of eloquent, incisive essays, poignant short fiction, and syntactically elaborate and devastatingly witty poems. And I haven't even mentioned the feature-length documentary film about Russia that he wrote, produced, and directed when nobody was looking. But I don't want to diminish Andrew by reducing his life to a list of accomplishments and photo ops, besides which any list I give you will be necessarily incomplete, because one of the peculiarities of being friends with Andrew was no matter how well you thought you knew him, there was so much you did not know. A full accounting of his exploits and adventures would require every person in this room, and the many more friends, admirers, colleagues, and collaborators not in this room to share their stories. And in the past few days, tonight, and over the coming weeks, we have done and will continue to do precisely that. And so for each of us, the project of getting to know Andrew presses on. And by describing his accomplishments and activities, I don't mean to imply that Andrew was in any way larger than life, just to suggest that he was perhaps as large as life can possibly get. He was not a superhuman, he was eminently human. He was approachable, humble, supportive, possessed by an omnivorous curiosity and enthusiasm that I would describe as childlike, but without an ounce of the disparagement that word usually suggests, rather with admiration. He was imbued with that boundless need to know and quick reflex for delight that we associate with youth and seldom see so uneroded and alive in an adult. Lest we forget, this was a grown man who would often literally jump for joy. And I do mean literally, literally. Andrew is a one-man rebuke to every unkind word said about his generation. In politics, he was active and engaged. In art, he was productive and adept. In no aspect of his life did he moderate or cut corners, and this is true most especially and most importantly in his friendships. To everyone he considered a friend, he was a great friend. He was relentless in his support, going out of his way to attend events, lend a hand, and never failing to congratulate someone, whether they had landed a dream job or performed a 10-minute gig for an audience of one, that one, of course, being him. He was a master of ceremonies who took great delight in bringing together people he knew from different communities, introducing them to each other with the highest praise, and watching sparks of rapport fly between them as they inevitably did. And this crowd is a testament to his success. This generous and joyful spirit was present in everything he did, everything he wrote. He shared it with his friends lavishly and often in, among other places, the invitations he wrote for various parties. A typically banal datum, like a start time or a dress code, in Andrew's hands became an occasion for cheer, and usually an opportunity for him to drop some Shakespeare, of whom he was exceedingly fond.